welcome back to Bodging&Building. This episode is going to be a little bit different. We're going to kind of start halfway through a project, and that is because this project was based on one that I saw via another YouTube channel called Iron Gryphon Studio. Now, please go and check him out. He does some brilliant videos, and he did one. Well, he did two actually that were called Ritual Circles and Ritual Circle Centerpieces. Now, I saw this idea and I really liked it, and as soon as I was watching him make up his ritual circles, it gave me a few ideas of various centerpieces that I could put in a slightly different way to make the main centerpiece. So please go and check out his videos, you'll see what he did. So I'm not going to bore you with the same information of how to start out the actual project the way he did, because there's no point. I want you to go and see his video. So please do go check him out. That's Iron Gryphon Studios on YouTube. And thank you very much to him for giving me permission to copy his idea. So anyway, on with the build. So what I did here slightly different was I made two circles, one as a base and one as the raised area, because what I wanted to do was have my central circles in a recess in the center. I didn't want to have it sat on top the same way Iron Gryphon had his. So all I did was two circles, cut the middle out of the top one and put in some runes. Now throughout this you're going to see that my circles are absolutely awful. I don't have a Proxon cutter. I'm trying to cut circles by hand. It's not very easy. But a lot of my stuff looks very rough around the edges, so I'm quite happy with my rough circles. It just fits in with the rest of the aesthetic of my builds. I may look to improve circles in the future, but what I've done here, as you'll see in a second, is I've got this central piece, and then I've got a few circles here that I'm going to cut out and make into different summonings in the middle. The beauty of doing it this way, of course, means I can make more at a later date when I come up with more ideas. So I could end up with 50 different centerpieces all coming out of this one summoning circle, which is always good. I like the adjustability and modulation of these builds, which is why I really like this idea. So my first idea was a pool of bubbling blood, and for the bubbles I decided to use some BB pellets that I've got a whole bottle of. So I pressed the BB pellets into the foam to leave an indentation, filled the indent with hot glue, and then stuck the BB pellet in, and then covered the whole thing with more hot glue to give it that sort of surface of liquid kind of smooth look, but to make it look like it was swooshing about a little bit. You'll see what I mean later on. Idea number two. A little while ago I managed to buy a load of toys, very cheap, that were these dead characters in caskets, as you can see here. So I thought I would mount one of these. The idea being that maybe a celestial or a demon had been summoned and it was locked away inside a big stone casket, very much like the idea of Akathwa in Buffy Season 2, having the big stone casket stood there, and maybe there's some sort of blood ritual to open it, but who knows what you'll get, what's inside. It's a bit like a Kinder Surprise. Just tried to give it a bit of texturing with the old tinfoil ball. Didn't go so well, but there was a little bit more there than when I started, so it's fine. For this one, just went very mundane and just did a pentagram on the stone as if it was carved in, paint it with some blood later on and put some skulls on there. Just go very, very run-of-the-mill sort of normal thing. This could even be the default setting when you go and find the summoning circle maybe. Had an idea of having a big tornado, big magic-y swirling vortex coming up out of it. So I decided to do this in the same way I do my flames that you may have seen in one of my other videos. So just a load of hot glue on the parchment paper, make sure it's all textured, give you something to dry brush over, and then peel it off when it's all dry. You'll see where I go with this in a minute. All I did was this. I got a bit of a cardboard tube cut down to the size I wanted, covered that in PVA glue or Mod Podge, I think it was, and I put this round it and I held it in place with a hair tie just to make sure that stayed there and would actually stick nicely. And then once that had dried, all the bits that were sticking off, I trimmed it down a little bit and just stuck some more down with more hot glue. Quite a good effect on this. I think you'll like it. It's an easy thing to do, but it looks really good. Next idea for some reason didn't record. What I did was I cut a load of arms off of some action figures and got a couple out of a Warhammer spare bits box and had that stuck to the ground piece like it was arms reaching out of the portal. You'll get a better look at it in a second. I'm sorry it didn't record, but we'll move on and you'll see how it looks later on. This is where we're at so far. I whitewashed the casket there. There's your whirlwind, and I had already black bombed these three. You can see the hands, there's the blood bubbles, and the pentagram there. There's the blood bubbles again. But there's the hands. You can get a better look at that there. So then it's just time to start dry brushing, get the stone effect going on the pentagram there. Of course, got to dry brush the actual portal itself as well, otherwise it's going to look a bit funny. Even though it's rather smooth, get a good dry brushing going over the casket so it looks like it's made of stone as well. Oddly enough, even though this is quite smooth plastic, it still had some nice texture to it that gave it a really good look. So I was very pleased with that. So specifically for this build, because I had this idea with the casket, and you've got those lovely grooves on the side there, them little, what I thought could even be windows, I went out and bought myself a new paint, brand new Citadel Tesseract Glow, and I decided to use that there to give it an otherworldly, ethereal glow coming out the side, almost like it's maybe glass, a window you could look inside in the side of this casket here. That God knows what you're going to find within. Thought I'd use the same Tesseract glow for the portal beneath the arms, give it this otherworldly look as well of these things reaching out at you. Subconsciously, I think I did this to give it the green and make it look like the portals from Rick and Morty. I didn't really mean to, but afterwards I looked back at it and yeah, that's kind of the look it has, but I think it looks quite cool. Added a little bit more dry brushing to the portal because it still looked a bit dark, and did a white over on the blood to make sure the red came out nice and bright. Painted the lines on the pentagram red and added some skulls to give that sort of stereotypical devil summoning kind of look to it. Now time to give the blood pool a generous smattering of red, and I also dripped in some black while it was still wet so it would mix together nicely and give a kind of congealed look. I had one more idea which was based off what Iron Gryphon Studios did but slightly modified. He had a big eye coming up out of the portal on the actual optic nerve itself, but I decided I just wanted an eye looking up through the portal. So again, with some blood around it, I decided to make an eye, put some more hot glue down at the bottom and did similar as I did with the blood here, the blood bubbles, and just gave it that kind of look, and just used half of a polystyrene ball that I have here to make the actual eye itself. I decided purple's a wonderfully magical colour, so I decided to make my magical whirlpool out of purple. Then I would add on a few skulls to make it look like there was some faces going around in this swirling vortex of magical energy. Slowly just adding in detail for the eye. Got the iris going on, the red horrible blood pool around it, just giving it that nasty. The whole idea of this is it's not something you generally want to summon, so this is just this horrible looking eye, maybe of a god or something, just peering out of the ethereal world staring at you. For the arms that were coming out of the portal, I used another Citadel paint, Nihilakh Oxide, I think it's called. Nihilakh, Nihilakh. I've probably butchered that pronunciation, but hey. But that gives it a nice ghostly effect. So these arms coming out of this green portal have this ethereal, ghost-like quality to them. Finished up the details on the eye with the pupil and the lines in the middle of the iris. A few red lines of like blood vessels coming up from the actual blood pool itself, just to give it a little bit more detail and make it look a little bit more horrific. And there we have it, various things to be summoned through your summoning circles. Got the eye and the pentagram there, and there's boiling blood bubbling away. Bit grim with the black going on, the congealedness. The arms reaching out for you from the other side. Very nicely done. The casket with whatever you want in there. And my personal favourite, the spinning vortex of magic and faces. Well, there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Do please give a like and share and subscribe. And do go over and check out Iron Gryphon Studios. It really means a lot to me that he gave me permission to make a video based off one of his. He really didn't have to. He could have said no. So big props to Iron Gryphon Studios. Really good stuff. Go check him out. So guys, please like, comment, subscribe. What did you like? I hope you've picked up something that maybe you'll make yourselves. And remember, my stuff may not look great, but it's good enough for my table. And I enjoyed making it, and that is all you can ask for. So I'll see you next time, Bodging and Building, and hopefully I won't leave it so long till the next video. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.